All right, folks, welcome to another episode of our evening news podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. We're going to be covering a lot of things regarding recession. We're going to be talking about Biden's fake Secret Service. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk doing a Q&A with Twitter employees. We're going to be talking about Disney and the Republican Party. A bunch is going to be covered within the next hour. So make sure you guys please share the live stream on social media. I don't think YouTube ever sends notifications for these things. So make sure you guys please share the live stream on social media so other patriots can know that we are live. And we're going to be covering some news reports here at Golden State Times. There's going to be a lot of special reports that we're also going to be covering in between. But like I said, the first thing that we're going to be covering today, let me put down the music a little bit. All right. So as you guys probably saw on our live streams for the White House press briefing, we've been talking about this. We started talking about it pretty much, I think a month ago, or a little bit less than a month ago, regarding the recession that is coming to the United States. Deutsche Bank was one of the first ones that came out and said that the recession is coming to the United States. Now another big bank is coming out and saying the exact same thing. So the other bank that is coming out and talking about this is Bank of America. So in a report, this comes courtesy of GoldenStateTimes.com. It says the macroeconomic picture is deteriorating fast and could push the U.S. economy into a recession as the Federal Reserve tightens its monetary policy to tame surging inflation, according to Bank of America. So it says inflation shock worsening, rate shock just beginning, recession shock coming. So that is what Bank of America Chief Investment Strategist Michael Harnett wrote to his clients. So as you guys know, regarding monetary policy right now in the United States, recession is coming as inflation keeps surging. Now, as of right now, the Biden administration cannot blame COVID anymore for this recession that is coming. So most likely they're going to blame it on the other one, Russia. They're going to say it's because of Russia that there's a recession. It's because of Russia this, it's because of Russia that. So that's going to be their new excuse. But in reality, the reason why we're going into this recession is because of all the horrible policies of the Biden administration, including the rises in prices for gasoline, for food. There's another report that we're going to be covering. They're saying that the price of food, not only here in the United States, but around the world, is surging at an unprecedented rates. So a lot of this is going to be happening within the next few weeks. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we also talked about it. So the Federal Reserve is saying that the way to quell the inflation, or the runaway inflation that we have right now, is by raising the interest rate. So they're planning to raise the interest rate 7 times throughout the year going into 2023. They raised it the first time last month. They raised it a quarter, and now they're planning to raise it another quarter either this month or next month. They're going to raise it a half by the middle or towards the end of the summer. Then they're going to raise it another half, and then they're going to raise it another quarter, and then another half at the end of the year. So they're planning that by the end of 2022, that they're going to raise it almost 3 to 4%, 3 to 4%, the interest rate. And they're saying, oh, if we raise the interest rate 3 to 4%, maybe we'll lower inflation by at least 3 to 4%, which is not going to happen. The only thing they're going to do is like what Bank of America said, inflation shock, rate shock, and at the end, recession. And it's not going to be like the recession of 2007, right? That affected Wall Street and affected the housing market. No, this is going to be an overall recession. It's going to be really, really bad. It says that on the Federal Reserve on Wednesday signaled that it will likely start cooling assets from its $9 trillion balance sheet, and it's in its meeting early May, and will do so at nearly twice the pace it did in its previous quantitative tightening. It says exercise as it confronts inflation running at a 4-decade high. It says that a large majority of investors also expect the central bank to hike its key interest rate by more than 50 basis points. 50 basis points. So that is what's happening right now regarding monetary policy. The dollar is, the value of the dollar has been going down since Biden took office, and it's going to go even lower. And that is going, all of these things are like putting a bunch of ingredients in a pot. And the end result is going to be catastrophe. Because, how should I put it? Like, the cooks don't know what they're doing. They're just throwing a bunch of crap in there and hoping for the best, for it to taste good. But it's going to taste rotten. Completely disgusting and rotten. And they do not know what they're doing. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. Powell has no way to get out of this, because and he doesn't really care, to be honest with you, because he's on his way out. I don't know if you guys know this, but they're going to replace the federal the chair of the Fed. So he really doesn't care what happens at this point. He's going to try to do as much as he possibly can, but in reality, he doesn't care because he's already on his way out anyways. So that's what's going on right now at the Federal Reserve and regarding monetary policy here in the United States. All right, so let's get to a special report. So we uploaded this on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. All right, so at the southern border, there's a huge influx going on. They're thinking about, or they're saying that there is around, give or take, maybe 18 to 20,000 apprehensions every single day. It's averaging right now at around 500,000 just last month alone. But the news of the day is that Cubans are outpacing Central Americans arriving at the southern border. You heard right, folks. This is on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. And it says Cubans outpace Central Americans arriving at the southern border. Now, where are all these Cubans coming from? And that's a very good question. Where are all these Cubans coming from? Well, a lot of these Cubans landed in Central America and they made their way north into Mexico. Now that they're in Mexico, they stayed there for a few months, and now they're starting to go through the southern border into the United States. And it says the exploding amount of Cuban nationals arriving at the southern border will outpace migrants coming from Central America by the end of the year. Border Patrol has said that Cuban nationals have outpaced Central American illegals being apprehended at the southern border in March. The 7-day average of Cuban border crossers was around 1,200, or 460% rise over the past year, according to new reports. In February 2022, around 16,600 Cuban nationals crossed the border, and in March, it doubled to around 32,000 illegals from Cuba attempted to cross the border. Migration advocates are blaming the United States for the hike in migration, saying that American policy against Cuba, along with sanctions and embargoes, are causing the country extremely rationing of food, which is causing people to flee. So they're again blaming the United States that these people are leaving Cuba, going into Central and South America, and also Mexico, and then working their way north. And that's all part of the really big caravan that is being built in Mexico. That's a really huge part of that caravan that's being built in Mexico. Not only is there a caravan being constructed in Mexico, but there's also one that is coming from Honduras, working his way into El Salvador, then into Guatemala as they work their way north. We have been warning about this. It's going to happen probably either next month or the month after that. So stay tuned. As you guys know, Title 42 is going to end on in May 23rd, 2022. So there's still a little bit over a month and a couple days since that ends. And I think that is what they're waiting for. The caravans are waiting for Title 42 to end, and then that's when they're going to head over. Most likely that's when they're going to start crossing. So that is what's happening. Cubans are outpacing Central Americans arriving at the southern border right now. All right, so let's get to the next report, and it has to do with the Republican Party and Disney. So as you guys probably know, Disney has been going head-to-head with the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, because of his new bill. And the one that they call Don't Say Gay bill. And Disney's not happy, right? Disney is a really radical far-left company. And they're finding new ways to try to, quote-unquote, punish Florida for what they're doing. And other states, too. Other states are coming out with similar bills that they're going to implement. But there's this new report. Let me get it on here. It's on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. So, congressional Republicans may block Disney copyright after Don't Say Gay bill. So it says Disney used to be an inspiration for all American families, but it seems that now they have given in to the woke mob. Everybody knows this. Disney, there's some videos that have been leaked from Disney corporate doing Zoom calls with their employees and top officials, executives and stuff like that. And those new videos that have been coming out are very, very extreme, to the point where it's just disgusting that these people are actually making content for children. So the Republicans are saying, wait a minute. Okay, so if we take power in 2022, if we take the House, if we take the Senate, then we do actually have leverage going into 2024. Now, what they mean by that is that Mickey Mouse and also Minnie Mouse the year after, but Mickey Mouse is about to lose its copyright protection in 2024. So a number of Republican lawmakers have signaled that they may block Disney from renewing copyright of its iconic Mickey Mouse cartoon as punishment for the company's stance on Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. Representative Jim Banks, chairman of the Republican Study Committee, is circulating a letter amongst GOP in which they're pretty much threatening Disney of not allowing them to renew their copyright, or not allowing them, not helping them in any way renew their copyright for Disney. Give me 1 second here. Representative Jim Banks, Indiana Republican, is threatening not to support the extension of Disney's copyright over Mickey Mouse after they attacked Ron DeSantis. The Republican-backed legislation called the Parental Rights in Education Act states that classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through third. That's what the bill is in Florida. So what do you guys think about that? Disney has been lobbying for a very long time because they know that once Mickey Mouse loses their copyright protection, it's only a matter of time before Minnie Mouse and all of the other Disney characters start losing it one by one as the copyright protection for, let's say, Winnie the Pooh already ended and a bunch of others. So they're afraid that Mickey Mouse is going to lose its copyright protection, and that's going to happen on January 1st, 2024. So it goes on to say that the Constitution gives Congress the authority to determine the length of time to protect copyright. It says, furthermore, it explicitly states that copyrights may not be permanent, yet Disney's long history of lobbying on this issue suggests that that is what their end goal is. Disney wants to lobby so hard so then that way Mickey Mouse is protected pretty much forever. It never loses its copyright. So it says that Banks, when we were talking about Jim Banks, cites several times amendments to copyright that has benefited Disney. Under the current law, Disney loses its Mickey Mouse copyright on January 1st, 2024. It says that he will not support further extensions applicable to those copyrights, which should become public domain. So that's what's going on right now, folks. And I think that's the best way to get at these woke corporations. These woke corporations have to know that they're going to be held accountable for all the atrocious things that they do and stuff that they align themselves with, right? They are supposed to be they're supposed to be a family-friendly company. They're supposed to be a company that has families in mind, that is for the benefit of children, not only for entertainment, but also for education. But they want to align themselves with radicals and crazy people. And by them doing this, by them going out and saying, okay, you know what, you want to align yourself to this? Well, guess what? You're not going to have our help when it comes to renewing your copyrights for everything that you own. Everything from Disney. The original stuff from Disney is almost 100 years old, if not 100 years old, pretty much already. So that is what the leverage that the Republicans are going to have going into 2023, 2024. They're going to be losing a lot of things, and they're terrified. As you guys know, Winnie the Pooh lost its copyright protection on January 1st, 2022. And that's what's going to end up happening for the rest of them. And I hope that the Republicans do continue with this. They do stick to their guns when it comes to going after these woke corporations that believe that they can do whatever they want and no consequences come to them. I hope that they do stick to their guns, and I hope that they do not help Disney continue their protections, their copyright protections of all of these characters that are about to go into the public domain. All right, so let's see, what other special report do we have? So this is very interesting stuff. Okay, so I don't think I talked about this on microphone. I don't think I mentioned this at all. I said it in private, but I don't think I ever I ever came out and gave this update, which I should have, but I don't know. I don't know what happened, and I forgot to say it. But the White House is acknowledging that Biden could get COVID, but they're also stressing that he is vaccinated. You heard it right, folks. So it says the White House on Friday acknowledged that Biden could get COVID amid an uptick in positive cases surrounding him, but stressed that they are taking steps to protect him. Not only that he is, quadruple or quintuple boosted, or he has like 20 vaccines. I don't know how many vaccines he has now. But they're saying that he is 100% protected and all of this stuff. It says that Biden's last COVID test was on Wednesday evening. As part of his regular testing routine, he tested negative. This comes after Nancy Pelosi tested positive for COVID early Thursday afternoon, just hours after meeting with Biden. And not only that meeting with Biden, but also kissing Biden like a crazed maniac and being really close to Biden, less than 6 feet apart for extended periods of time. But according to Jen, no. They were 6 feet apart, which is false. they were not face to face or in close contact for more than 15 hours, which is also false. But the queen of propaganda likes to lie through her teeth and just continues to push the lie. But nobody's actually believing her this time. She thinks that people are stupid, but they're not. So they're saying that Biden could most definitely test positive for COVID. It's just a matter of time or when they are actually going to come out and say it, that he does have COVID. So who knows? As of right now, they're saying that he's negative. They're saying that, Nancy Pelosi was never close to him, that Nancy Pelosi never even came in contact with Biden, which is false because she kept on kissing him on Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's see what happens with that. But at least right now, they're acknowledging that Biden could catch COVID at any moment if he doesn't have it already. So let's see what happens with that. All right, so let's get to our next report here. And this one has to do with Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, as you guys already know, Elon Musk has bought a 10% stake in Twitter, and they pretty much instantly put him on their board. So now that Elon Musk is on the board of Twitter, he said, you know what, I'm going to do my best to help Twitter pretty much keep their promise of it being a First Amendment, protected place. Free speech should be free on Twitter. And now there's a lot of extreme far left employees at Twitter revolting and saying, hey, we're going to quit. We're very angry that not only is Elon Musk 10% owner of the company, but now he's on the board of the company. So Elon Musk came out and said, okay, in order for me to kind of like cool everything down, I'm actually planning to do a Q&A at Twitter. So that's exactly what he's going to do. So this is on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. And it says, Elon Musk to join Twitter CEO Agrawal for staff Q&A next week. Elon Musk, who was added to Twitter Inc.'s board after accumulating 10% stake in the social media, will join its chief executive officer at a company all-hands meeting next week to address employee questions. So it says that Twitter's CEO will host Musk at the Q&A session to help ease internal concerns about the impact the billionaire will have on the company's internal culture and policies, according to reports. So it says that on April 4th, Musk disclosed that he had taken more than 9% stake in Twitter. The following day, Twitter said Musk was joining its board until 2024. And not only that, but they also capped him. He cannot own more than 15% of the company. The last thing they wanted was for him to take a huge chunk of the company and have full control, similar to what he did at Tesla. I don't know if anybody knows this, or not many people know this. Elon Musk was not one of the founders of Tesla. He acquired Tesla by buying shares of stock and taking pretty much complete ownership when he took X amount of a stake in that company, where he was able to take it over. And that's not what, and Twitter did not want the same exact treatment from Musk. That's why they said, you know what, if we put you on the board and we give you a little bit of power, then you will only be allowed to get 15% of the company, or only be allowed to purchase up to 15% of the company, which Elon Musk agreed. But so that's the reason why he's on the board of Twitter, but up until 2024. That was the pretty much the terms for him to be on the board. All right. So let's see what happens. A lot of the questions that are going to be coming up at this Q&A with Twitter employees are going to revolve around free speech. Is going to revolve around what's his plans for Twitter. And the biggest thing that I think that is going to be coming up at this Q&A with Twitter employees and Elon Musk is going to be, are you going to unban Trump? And are you going to unban other people that have been banned on Twitter? Not only recently, but over the last 4 to 5 years. So who knows? You know, my thing is that Elon Musk doesn't like Trump as it is. So will he unban Trump? Most likely he won't, but who knows? Maybe he will shock the world and unban Trump on Twitter. As you guys probably know, Trump has sued Twitter to get back on the platform. His Truth social media thing is doing horrible. And he's very, very, very desperate to get back on Twitter because he knows the leverage it gives him to be able to speak to the American people through Twitter. And he knows that every single time that he tweets, it's breaking news and it's all over the news and all over the place. But now that he doesn't have Twitter, that's not the way that it works anymore. So that's the reason why Trump wants to get back on Twitter so desperately that he's willing to sue the company to get him back on. But who knows? Maybe Elon Musk will shock the world and get him back on Twitter. Who knows? We won't know until that Q&A that he's going to do with Twitter employees. And that's if he actually answers the question, or maybe he says, I'll let you guys know at a later time, or we're working on it, or whatever, who knows what's going to happen. But all we know is that he's going to do a Q&A next week with the CEO of Twitter and their employees. Alrighty, so let's see. What else? What other special reports do we have here? Let's see. So as I told you guys before, food prices are soaring worldwide. The crisis is coming to the United States. This one comes courtesy of Golden State Times, and it says prices for food commodities like grain and vegetable oils reached their highest levels ever this past month, largely because of the war in Russia, according to them, which is fake. That's not even true. And it says that massive supply disruptions is causing this uptick and is threatening millions of people all over the world, where hunger and malnourishment is at its highest. And we're talking about places like the Middle East and Africa. They're saying that those are ones that are going to get impacted first as it makes its way into world powers like the United States, Europe, and other places. It says that the UN Food and Agriculture Organization said its food price index, which tracked monthly and changes in international prices for like a basket of commodities, averaged 159.3 points last month, up 12.6% for February. And the February index was the highest level since its inception when they started tracking it back in 1990. So the price of food is going up 12.6%. That's just in the next few months. That's not what it has been going up, which probably is another 15% since the beginning of this whole horrible issue going on with the surge of prices for everything from food to gas to everything. So just prepare for food to go up another 12.6%. That's at your grocery store, most likely 15% from fast food, which on fast food, it has already been going up almost 17% within the last year and a half. So let's see what happens with that. It's just horrible what's going on around the world, but it's even going to be worse here in the United States. We just have to brace for impact. All right, folks. So here we are at this new report. This one comes courtesy of GoldenStateTimes.com. And this has been in the news all over the place. As you guys know, or probably don't know, Biden's Secret Service is in really big trouble. Actually, two of Biden's Secret Service detail has been suspended. So we're going to check it out here at goldenstatetimes.com for this report. And it says, Secret Service agents assigned to Biden and Harris suspended amid bribery investigation. It says 4 U.S. Secret Service agents, including members of Biden's detail and also Kamala Harris's protective detail, have been suspended after 2 men charged with impersonating federal officers allegedly bribed the agents with expensive gifts such as assault rifles and free apartments. So the name of the 2 impersonators is Aryan Tahazadi and Haider Ali. Both of them are U.S. citizens, were arrested on Wednesday after the FBI raided a luxury Washington, D.C. apartment building where the 2 had been staying. The pair, according to federal officials, claimed that they worked for the Department of Homeland Security on a task force to investigate gangs and violence connected to the January 6th riot at the Capitol. It says on Friday, federal prosecutors argued that the 2 perpetrators had compromised agents of the Secret Service who were assigned to top security missions and accused them of trying to integrate themselves with those agents in the federal agency. It says Assistant U.S. Attorney Joshua Rothstein claimed in court this week that Ali told witnesses that he had ties to the Pakistani agency Inter-Service Intelligence. Ali had allegedly obtained 3 visas from Pakistan and 2 from Iran in the months leading up to the alleged scheme. And prosecutors believe that he took several trips to the Middle East. So these were spies. They're calling them fake agents, but in reality, let's say the truth, they're spies. They were trying to spy on Biden and Kamala Harris through their Secret Service agents. I actually reported on this at the White House press briefing, and I told you guys there was more to this story. There's definitely more to this story. It's not just about them giving gifts like iPhones and assault rifles and letting them stay at luxury apartments to these Secret Service guys. They had to do a lot more than that. So what we're thinking about here is that this is going to be a spy ring. And this spy ring is going to come from pretty much the Middle East. Either Pakistan is the one to blame for this, or maybe even Iran, or maybe both. So it says that one of the perpetrators started to delete electronic evidence once they learned that the FBI was investigating him, according to a report. So who was he talking to on those electronic devices? It says on Wednesday, the FBI searched 5 residences in the building where the suspects resided, as well as 3 vehicles. They found body armor, gas masks, zip ties, handcuffs, equipment to break through doors, drones, radios, and police training manuals, according to reports. The alleged plot started in February 2020 and began to unravel in March 2022 when the U.S. Postal Inspection Service started to investigate an assault on a mail carrier at a luxury apartment building. Now, I have to say something, and obviously right now it's speculation, but I'm really looking into this. The U.S. Postal Service is getting involved in some very, very shady stuff. I don't know if you guys remember our report just a few months ago about these secret spy operations that the U.S. Postal Service was conducting, and then Republicans came out and said, hey, we want more information on these covert operations that the USPS is doing. And the USPS said, no, don't worry. We'll shut it down, right? Don't look at what we're doing. We'll just shut it down and we won't continue any more operation. And let's just make it like if nothing ever happened. So there is something very, very fishy going on with the USPS. Out of all agencies, the USPS is doing some very, very shady stuff. And the Republicans, once they get into power, they should really look into what the hell is the USPS doing. What is the USPS getting themselves into? Is the USPS what, the new CIA, the new NSA? What's going on with the U.S. Postal Service. They're doing some very, very shady stuff. And it's just a matter of time before, this can of worms start to come out. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. What is the USPS doing? What kind of stuff are they cooking over there at the USPS? Very, very interesting stuff. So, an assault on a USPS mail carrier pretty much unraveled this whole situation. Very, very weird. So it says that the lavish gift they allegedly tried to give agents as part of their scheme included $2,000 rifles, a TV, iPhone, surveillance systems, rent-free apartments at buildings where they lived, according to court documents. So it says that the perpetrators told investigators a lead had provided money for their operations, which apparently included at least 5 apartments, 2 of which investigators said were worth more than $40,000 each, that were given to the Secret Service agents. It says of the 4 agents suspended by the Secret Service, 1 was special agent assigned to First Lady Jill Biden's detail. A second worked at the White House in the uniformed division. So it's definitely aspiring. And Ali, I'm sorry, let me see. Okay. So 1 was for Jill Biden's detail, 1 worked at the White House, 1 was on Biden's detail, and 1 was in Kamala Harris' detail. So definitely this was aspiring. That is what was going on. They were spying and they were trying to see what all of these people were up to. But as of right now, like I said, this is all preliminary. We don't have full scope of what is going on. There's way more to this story than what they're saying as of right now. But that's what's happening, folks. This is some pretty crazy stuff. All right, but we'll bring you guys more information on that on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. All right, so let's see what else. What other special report do we have here? So I don't know if you guys know, but Kristen Sinema has been pretty much moderate since she became the senator of the great state of Arizona. So now the far left in Arizona want her out. They want to kick her out. They do not want her to be the senator of the great state of Arizona because they say that she is not radical enough. They want her to be part of the squad. They want her to be as radical as possible. So it says the far left, this comes courtesy of goldenstatetimes.com. And it says far left raising money, laying groundwork to oust Democrat Kristen Sinema from the Senate. It says on the top targets of Democrat radical activists, they are working to knock out of the Senate one of their own, Senator Kristen Sinema. Several political action committees are raising money to build early momentum for primary challengers against Arizona Democrat who had angered her party for helping derail huge spending plans, an election law overhaul, and one of Biden's Labor Department nominees. Now, so I talked about this, I think it was yesterday when they officially confirmed the Supreme Court nominee, Biden's Supreme Court nominee. And I said at the time at the White House press briefing, or I think it was yesterday at the podcast from yesterday, that everything that has been turned down that Biden has wanted for the last couple months has not been taken down by Republicans or has not been blocked by Republicans. It has been blocked or taken down by Democrats. Democrats like Kristen Sinema. Kristen Sinema was against the Labor Department nominee, also the election law overhaul, and the huge spending bills that Biden wanted to pass that did not pass. It was not blocked by Republicans. It was blocked by their own party, by Democrats. And that's why I was saying yesterday, These Republicans cannot be trusted at all. At all. So that's what's going on right now. That's why these radical leftist activists are going against Kristen Sinema, because she is not pretty much, she broke from the mold of all of the young freshman lawmakers that have come into Washington, D.C. They wanted Sinema to be part of the, what do they call it? Give me 1 second. We have a, oh, here we go. Cool. Thank you so much for taking that off. So Kristen Sinema, they wanted her to be part of the squad, and she didn't want to. She was more of a moderate, or she is more of a moderate when it comes to the way that she votes in the Senate. So Luis Avila, a spokesman for the primary Sinema PAC, said that there's just a few examples of why motivated liberals seek to replace the senator when she's up for re-election in 2024. So he said in a statement, "We live in a democracy where we have the power to elect people who best represent us, and she's not representing us well. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we actually have somebody in office that listens to us and takes action on our behalf. I don't think that's her right now." Now, what these idiots don't understand is that if they try to take down Sinema, a Republican will take her place. And maybe that's what they want, right? So Republicans have to let them eat their own, let them do what they do, and they take out Sinema, so then that way a Republican can take over her position. It'll be as easy as that. Why? Because whatever nominee they want, or whoever they want to replace Sinema with, is going to be a weak nominee that nobody's going to know. And then that's the opportunity that the Republicans need to take to put in a Republican in her place. But let's see if the Republicans take that opportunity or just let it go to waste like always, because the Republicans are useless, completely and utterly useless. All right, let's see. What other special report do we have here? News of the day. News of the day. Give me 1 second here. So this also has to do with Kristen Sinema. And it says, bipartisan group of senators proposes bill to block Title 42 repeal by Biden. I don't know if you guys remember, we were just talking about this. So Title 42 is going to end in May 23rd. On May 23rd, I'm sorry. So there's a bipartisan group of senators that want to block that repeal. Repealing Title 42 will cause havoc at the border more than it already is right now. It will just be completely chaotic. Turmoil will take over at the southern border. People will just flood through, and the gates will be completely wide open when it comes to illegals trying to cross through. So it says, a bipartisan group of senators will propose legislation on Thursday, meaning, they put that legislation through on Thursday, but most likely we won't hear about it till Monday, that will block the repeal of Title 42 border policy unless the Biden administration presents a plan to stem a potential surge of illegal border crossings, according to a new report. The bill will be introduced by Senators Kristen Sinema, the one that they want to kick off, James Lankford, and is also co-sponsored by 4 other Democrats and 5 Republicans. So this bill is going to be pretty much 100% bipartisan, and is going to be spearheaded by the one and only Kristen Sinema. She is just angering her party more and more all the time, and it's good. You know, it's good that she's doing this. She's showing the Democrats that they don't have power over her like they do all the other ones. She's trying to be her own person, which is good. It says the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention on Friday announced the repeal of Title 42, a public health measure which allows U.S. border agents to immediately expel illegal aliens crossing the border, while the implementation of the repeal is delayed until May 23rd. Republicans and moderate Democrats have warned that the repeal could exacerbate a migrant crisis at the southern border. So Sinema said to reporters, quote, "It is evident that the current preparations and plans to end Title 42 aren't adequate." It says that, revealing that she met with Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas that same day. And it says it seems highly unlikely that it will be adequate by May 23rd because of poor logistics. So it says that Sinema and Lankford's legislation will prevent the administration from lifting Title 42 for 60 days after the Surgeon General provides written notification to the appropriate authorizing and appropriate committees of Congress, ending the national COVID health emergency. So that's a very good idea. So until Biden comes out and says there is no longer a COVID health emergency in the United States, not until then, and after 60 days of that, of Biden coming out and saying that, they're going to be allowed to take down Title 42. So Biden has to come out and say COVID is no longer a problem. We can go back to our life as normal. And then 60 days after, they can take off Title 42. I think that's a very, very good idea. That's a very good idea. And at that point, they can end Title 42 permanently. But not until Biden comes out and says COVID is no longer a problem. There is no longer a public health. It is no longer a public health emergency. But not until then. What do you guys think about that? I think that's a very good idea. So in other news here, this is more international news, but as you guys probably know by now, Le Pen is very, very close to a victory over Macron. So the Biden White House is already starting to spew out the propaganda. So Biden's White House claims that Putin is helping Le Pen win the French election. You heard right, folks. So Biden is saying this is going to be a huge win for Putin, according to him. So it says the White House is freaked out that Putin's next big win could be in Paris, France. So it says if Le Pen wins, it's because of Russia. Russia. The White House has begun to harbor fears that Vladimir Putin could soon notch his biggest victory of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but it will happen from Paris, France. There is growing concern within Joe Biden's administration about the narrowing polls in the French presidential election that shows a tight race between Emmanuel Macron and far-right challenger Marine Le Pen. It says that a possible victory by Le Pen could destabilize the Western coalition against Moscow, upending France's role as a leading European power and potentially giving other NATO leaders cold feet about staying in the alliance, according to senior Biden administration officials. So again, if Le Pen wins, it's because of Russia. If Le Pen wins, it's because of Putin. Russia. That's what's going to happen if Le Pen wins. It says a senior U.S. official has, it says, watching over the declining for many signs of possible Russian interference in the first round of the elections, which will take place on Sunday. So I guess Sunday is going to be the first round of elections in France. It says polls suggest that Macron and Le Pen will likely then advance to a showdown on April the 24th, and that the two potential person race could be very close. So that's what's going on. According to Biden, if Le Pen wins, is because of Russia. Oh boy, that's hilarious. So they're going to give her the Trump treatment, pretty much is what's happening. Alrighty, so let's get to the next one. let's see here. What else is in the news? Regarding Will Smith, I don't know if you guys saw this, but he's banned from the Oscars for the next 10 years. I don't know if anybody's interested if this guy is banned for 10 years or banned for life. Who cares? But if you do care, Will Smith has been banned from the Oscars for the next 10 years. They should have done it forever. But 10 years is a pretty long time too, so. All right, so what else do we have in the news at goldenstatetimes.com? Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. Alrighty, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and now pro-Trump rally planner is cooperating with the Justice Department's January 6th inquiry. So, give me 1 second here. Let me try to fix something here real quick. So it says, his name. Okay, so Aliyah Alexander, an organizer of pro-Trump rallies during the 2020 election, has agreed to cooperate with the Justice Department's division investigating the assault on the Capitol. And regarding the last 12 months of his presidency, it says the primary high-profile political will determine identified has supplied help for the federal government. So he's talking to the feds. It says, talking by way of a lawyer, Mr. Alexander stated on Friday that he had not too long ago obtained a subpoena from the federal grand jury that's looking for data on a number of broad classes and individuals related to pro-Trump rallies that came out in Washington after the election. So Ali Alexander is talking to the feds, and also Jared Kushner is going to be talking to the to lawmakers, and Ivanka Trump is going to be talking to lawmakers regarding January 6th. So a bunch of that stuff is coming out very soon. I don't know how happy Trump is that Ivanka Trump is going to be talking to those people and Jared Kushner. So let's see what happens with that. All right, folks. So it looks like for the news of the day, pretty much that is where we're at right now. There's a lot of news, but that we covered yesterday. But if you guys missed any of our videos, it is on our website, goldenstatetimes.com, and also on our YouTube channel, Golden State Times here on YouTube. We cover the White House press briefing. We cover the Pentagon press briefing. If you guys missed any of those, then make sure you guys go and check them out. Thanks so much for joining us here at Golden State Times as we covered a bunch of stuff today. A lot of stuff that has to do with, foreign politics. Also, the Secret Service guys that got suspended, that were infiltrating and keeping tabs on Biden. It's aspiring. Let's just leave it at that. It's a definite spiring that was going on. The new proposition by a bipartisan group of senators to repeal or to block the repeal of Title 42. Le Pen and Macron are very, very close in their race. They're set to face off next month on the 24th. There's a new report. Okay, so let's cover this before we sign off. So as you guys know, Hunter Biden has been in the news, not only because the fake news, New York Times and Washington Post both came out and said that the emails and the whole laptop thing is true, even though they had claimed in the past that the New York Post was lying and that it was fake Russian propaganda and all this other crap. So now they're really looking into the $3.5 million that was given by the wife of a Russian oligarch to Hunter Biden. If you guys want more information on that, it's on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Why did she, the wife of someone, give Hunter Biden $3.5 million? Right? It doesn't make any sense. Why would she give Hunter Biden so much money? But it's only a matter of time. The information is going to start to come out. And so they're going to ask the question, why did a wife of a Russian politician give you $3.5 million? That is some pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if you guys remember that Trump talked about this, and he said that more information was going to come out. Not only that, they're also looking at Hunter Biden's business deals in China, business deals in Saudi Arabia, and business deals in the Ukraine. A lot of this stuff happened, and a lot of this stuff came out because of his investigation into his taxes. So Hunter Biden hadn't paid taxes in a long time, and he accumulated almost $5 million in back taxes, and he paid it off. And he thought that by paying off his taxes, paying off his liabilities, that all of this was going to go away. But guess what? It didn't. It just made everything, they just started to look into everything, and now a bunch of evidence is coming up regarding Hunter Biden. So why did this lady give you $3.5 million, the wife of a Russian politician? So let's see what the Republicans do with this if they take over the House and the Senate next year. Let's see if they do actually have some hearings on this. Let's see if they actually haul Hunter Biden over to Congress to pretty much put him on the hot seat and ask him a bunch of questions regarding his business dealings in China, his business dealings in Ukraine, his business dealings in the Middle East, and also in Russia. So we hope that the Republicans actually do that they drag him over to Congress and put him on the hot seat. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But let us know in the chat, what do you guys think is going to happen? Thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. We hope that you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you guys found some of these news reports informative. If you did, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. We cover everything that has to do with politics, breaking news, scoops, and everything else in between. Not only that, we also cover international news. We cover business news and news of the day. So make sure you guys join us for the next one, bright and early Monday morning here at Golden State Times. But we cover the news 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 on our website, goldenstatetimes.com. Again, that's www.goldenstatetimes.com. All right, folks. So once again, thank you so much for joining us here at the newsroom for this special report on the Evening News Podcast with me, Gent Goldstein. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'd like to give a big thank you to the moderators for keeping the chat clean and enjoyable for everyone, and also everyone that supports us through membership. All of our members, thank you so much for your help and your support through membership. If you'd like to become a member of Golden State Times, just click the join button and it'll give you all the information on there. Thank you so much for your consideration in helping out the channel. And not only that, helping out this podcast that we do every evening now, from now on the news of the day. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. God bless every single one of you guys. And we hope that you have a blessed Friday night and weekend. And we hope to see you here bright and early for full coverage Monday morning. Thank you so much, folks. God bless every single one of you guys. And never, ever forget Jesus, King of Kings, and God is in control. Never fear, because God is always in control. Thanks so much, folks, and I will see you soon. Have a good night. Peace.